Hi, Rihanna, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm really tired.
It's all right. So
Oh,
it's
no,
only
yeah, it's quite late
only
now.
quarter past
Were you
11.
working?
Oh, it's unreal. I've been at work all day, so I'm like, I'm really
Oh,
tired, but I'll live for now. You've got the idea with, have you got a cup of tea or coffee?
yeah, I'm in bed with my coffee. I'm all
You've got
relaxed.
the idea. You've got the idea. I just have nothing in my house right now, so it's like, no.
Right. To save any sort of confusion, I'm going to disable my video because you cannot see me for life or money. So, yeah, I'm going to just sort of be in the background. So, whee! There we go. That's better.
Lovely. Oh.
So, how is everyone? Apart from Rihanna.
Yay!
Okay for you guys in the US. It's like the middle of the day over there.
Yes, lucky buggers. Certainly is. So, where's everybody from? I know where Rihanna's from. I obviously know where Sam's from. Ashton?
I'm from Colorado. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
How's it going over there?
it's good here. It's really cold and busy outside, but it's a thing, you know. So,
That's good.
yeah.
Glad to hear it. And Samantha?
Do you mean how's the weather? Sorry, there were two screens open, so I could hear you guys double, so I didn't quite catch the question.
Right, where are you from? Where you hail from? Where are you?
I'm from London,
Okay.
surprisingly.
Well,
Yeah, and the weather's nice. The weather's quite actually warm for this time of year now. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know what it looks like outside.
it's
It's
been
like,
raining and windy up here in Newcastle.
mm,
Lovely.
it's kind
Whereabouts
of
in
It's always
chilled
a
London?
bit
here.
rainy and windy there, right? In Newcastle?
Sorry, say that again.
It's always a bit rainy and windy in Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a bit grim up north.
Yeah.
The
Grim
legends are
up north.
true. It's very grim up north. Of course, the further north you get, the more grimmer it gets. So
That's true.
once you get to Aberdeen, you've kind of hit the brick wall. You just think, you know what, enough, I'm going back down south. So yeah. So whereabouts in London, Samantha?
Well, I live in South London. It's near Wimbledon. Yeah, so I live near Wimbledon.
All right, yeah, I used to live down in South London, well, South East London, Lewisham, Deptford, Catford, Brockley,
Okay.
all of those
Oh,
there.
Deptford, did you say?
Deptford, yes.
I live in Deptford.
Yeah, I went to school in Deptford. Good Lord.
Did you go to Deptford Park School?
I did actually, yes.
I pass that on the bus every single time I leave my house. So.
Hey, God, this is a great small world. Right.
Yes.
Very good.
I'm just
Right.
tweeting about this.
Oh, I should probably do that too.
I don't have millions of
Watching
followers
if we
or
weren't
whatever.
Right, everybody get tweeting, send it out, I don't care. Oh dear. Right, so The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies.
A long time coming.
It's been a long time. I have to admit, right, can you believe that I mean, if we go back as far as obviously the Lord of the Rings films, and we're talking about 2001, so that's like 13 years ago when the first Lord of the Rings movie was released. But they actually started filming sort of like around the late 90s, so around 96, 97. I think it took them about 5 years to film all three of the Lord of the Rings movies back to back. So that's 17 years.
That's mental.
17 years in Middle Earth. That is just
Don't
crazy.
think Peter Jackson can let that go.
Do you know what it is, right? Credit to Peter Jackson and everybody that's been involved. I know he's had a lot of stick over the years, especially with The Hobbit, and it was difficult for him to actually get the project off the ground in the first place because at one point everybody thought, oh, this book will never get made into a movie. There's a whole load of trouble with it. But eventually New Line and Warner Brothers thought, you know what? Go for it. Let yourself go and make it. Let's see what you can do. And obviously, we all remember we thought it was just going to be one movie because there's only one book, obviously. And then he thought, no, I think I'll stretch it out a bit. I'll include other characters that weren't in the book, and I'll make it. And we thought, oh, good, he's trying to make a lot of money. And then the dreaded bit that everybody didn't want to hear, he's making 3 movies, children. Run for the hills. It's going to just be really bad. He's just cashing in now. But to be honest, I'm actually glad that he made 3 films because it's now rounded off really well. I think it's a fond farewell. If it had just been one movie, I don't think it would have been closed off properly. You know, there wouldn't have been that sense of closure in it.
No.
Whereas with the 3 movies, it felt right. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, what does everybody else think?
Well, like I'm reading the book at the moment, and it's a 280-page book, so it's really really short. But like I'm reading it, and obviously not a lot that happens in the movie happens in the book, and I'm reading it, and it's like really really quite. It's not boring, but you know what? It's like it's just not as exciting as the movie. So I'm like reading it, and I'm like, yeah, if they stuck to this book all the way through, it would be a really boring one movie. So I'm pretty glad he went full through all 3 films, and we've had a good 3 films. It's been an experience, I think. It's like a new era. Like when I was younger, I went to see Lord of the Rings, and now a new generation's going to see The Hobbit, which I find quite cool. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it's all about. That's it. What about everyone else?
Well, I thought they were long. I'm not a huge fantasy person, so I thought the Lord of the Rings was pretty long, and I thought this was long. I did like it. I thought it was well made, and I liked, like, you know, but I just don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, if I was born in Middle Earth, I'd probably commit suicide, because it's one thing after another, and it's just like you get no peace. It's honestly, yeah, there's an orc there, there's a troll there, nothing is certain.
Oh, that's very
Like,
true.
yeah, and also, like, in the Harry Potter films, I'm quite used to the wizards having, like, a lot of power, but Gandalf, like, I don't know, he seems a bit reckless. He seems like not that thought through. So, yeah, I don't really get the whole kind of I wouldn't follow him, personally. I'd be like, well, you have no skills, really.
He has tons of skills. He's a wizard.
Exactly, I expected more from a wizard, but I know I'm in the minority, but I always find Gandalf a little bit like, he promises a lot, but does he really deliver?
Well, that's a good question.
I do kind of find that in the case in The Hobbit, though. Like, Lord of the Rings, like, yeah, he's more of a badass, but, like, The Hobbit, he only seems to turn up when the dwarves are, like, in need of him, sort of thing. So that's one of the things that bugged me in, like, the first 2 movies. Like, with the troll situation, he was gone with Radagast or wherever he was, and then he'd come back for the troll situation. It's like, it's just, like, coming to save the day, and I was like, it just really confused me.
Yeah, he only pops up when it's really convenient for him and not for him.
Exactly.
That is true.
His character, though, it was like he was coming into his own with the whole Hobbit series. We get to see the kind of the beginning stages of Gandalf, and then at the climax of the first movie of Lord of the Rings, when he died and came back, he was more, in my opinion, he was more complete. Like, he was more of a wizard that actually do something and stand with it. But in this, it was just really interesting to see, like, the dynamics of how powerless he really was and not understanding what was really happening. But nah, it was pretty crazy. It was, no pun intended, it was an unexpected journey. The whole series of The Hobbit, it really was really awesome.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, as I say, the character of Gandalf is obviously well known, and I think he was more prominent, obviously, in Lord of the Rings more because of the fact that he died, and then he came back as Gandalf the White, and therefore it just made him more epic. So yeah, watching him in The Hobbit, yeah, he did. It was more of a convenience than an actual. There wasn't really that proper Gandalf presence that we had in the Lord of the Rings films. You know, if they flipped the lid and did the Hobbit first.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, that would have probably been better. But I think Peter Jackson probably thought, you know what, this is 3 books, I can make 3 movies out of this.
Yeah.
He thought this will probably be a better stepping stone than actually doing The Hobbit. And that's probably why, as you say, Rihanna, you know, you're reading the book. It is about 280 pages long, so it's a very short book. And he probably thought, well, it's pointless doing a film out of this right now. If I do the Lord of the Rings, then that means when it comes to The Hobbit, I've got a better chance of mapping out certain characters from the Lord of the Rings and bring them into The Hobbit, which is exactly what he's done. Obviously, it angered a lot of fans, but you know what? You can't please everybody at the end of the day, you know. And he is targeting the general wider audience. So when you look at characters like Galadriel and Thandriel and flipping hell was Hugo Weaving's character called?
Don't even.
I forgot that too.
I
remember he like popped up and I was like, but then I was like, oh, what's his name? I forgot.
Yeah, I've
Right.
forgotten anyway. But you know, there were certain nice touches that connected it, obviously, to Lord of the Rings, especially towards the end where Thranduil's telling Legolas to seek out this ranger in the
Oh my
forest.
god! I, w-
I,
I was
I actually
watching
had,
Fellowship and I was like, oh my god, it's Striker! I didn't
yeah,
realise this. And I texted my friend, I was like, oh my god, the dude is Striker, it's Aragorn.
yeah, yeah. It was. I actually had a moment there when he mentioned Stride, and I was like, oh yeah, this is where they become the bros. The bromance begins between them two. Oh dear. But Ashton, you want to talk about the massive elk?
Okay. So, that elk. I saw this with an old work buddy, and we were enjoying the movie, we're enjoying it. Then this elk shows up, and we're like, oh, that elk looks really cool. And then it gets to the one scene where the elk picks up all the orcs with his horn, and then Ronan, I don't remember his name, Ronan the Accuser just cuts all their heads off. And the 12-year-old in me erupted. I was like, oh my god! And then I got into this big rant after the movie was over on why I think it's stupid that we domesticated horses for riding instead of elk. They are so much more useful. They got those horns. Horses don't have horns. They're just fast. They have teeth and they bite you. Elk are prettier and they're more useful. And I love that fucking elk. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I did call it a moose. I called it a moose. And one nerd in the front row was sure to call me out on it. I heard a very loud, it was an elk! But I don't know. I really liked that scene. It was very nice. Yeah.
That was brilliant. No, it was a good scene. I was laughing my head off when that elk just literally picked up about 6 orcs all at once and just disposed of them with as if nothing mattered in the world. It was brilliant. But for me though, I think the real funny point was when Billy Connolly showed up as Dane. I mean, what the hell? I mean, obviously he was CGI'd into the character, but he was riding a wild boar, if you can describe it like that.
Boars too! Boars are better than horses! Everything's better!
We've got elks, we've got boars. We might as well just bring those into existence, start breeding them, and have elk races and all sorts. It'd just be that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. But I think to say though, to be on a serious note, I think the movie overall was. I mean, there was quite a lot of emotion in it. I mean, especially the fight scene between Thorin and the orc, the big orc king. That was a lot of serious tension going on in there. And then obviously Legolas's fight and Evangeline Lilly's character when she was facing off against one of the orcs as well. And then obviously Philly and Killy. I mean, I have to. Do you know what? Hats off to Philly and Killy for those two being such brave dwarves. And now I can't remember. Was it Philly that was in love with?
Killy. It was Killy.
It was Killy, right?
Yeah.
Killy for me, I think was the standout dwarf because
I love Aidan Turner so much.
Bless him for being so brave. It was all about love. And obviously, when he got killed, and you saw how Evangeline's character was all crying, asking Thranduil why does it hurt so much? Yeah. And he tells her, well, it's because it was real. And that's when she realised that, oh my God, I was actually in love with this guy. That there was actually a real sense of attachment between those two, and it's obviously forbidden, clearly, but. She didn't care. He didn't care either. It was one of the most surreal moments, just seeing, those dwarves really, not necessarily. It wasn't the case that they were being selfish, but they still came together. They still looked out for each other. Apart from Thorin at one point where he went completely mad. Yes. But even that, I mean, his madness in particular was a huge factor. Not just in this film, but for all three of them, for all three of the Hobbit movies. And he was desperate to get back to Erebor, desperate to reclaim his kingdom, and when he did, that was just when he lost his mind completely.
It's very different in the book.
Is it? That's really
I actually really wanted.
Why am I not surprised?
I wanted to talk about Toriel a little bit because obviously she's not in the book. Mm-hmm. And like in the movie, something that really bugged me was them playing up to the romance so much, because like they do make a good pair for me, and I do like them as a pair, but like it was a bit too much for me, and I already knew what happened in the movie before I started reading the book. I already knew that Philly, Killy, and Thorin all died,
Mhm.
because someone ruined it for me,
Right.
and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking I was gonna get so annoyed if Killy died for like Toriel and not with his brother Philly, which is what happens in the book, and that's something that kind of bugged me a little bit because I do like them as a pair, but like I just kind of wanted him to die with his brother, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just,
No,
it's
that
just one
makes
of those
sense. I can
things.
see what you mean. Yeah, it
But
would have been a
I
lot
really
better.
love Toriel's character. She's awesome.
No,
So
she
awesome.
was epic.
So is she like a? I haven't read The Hobbit, so is she like a completely new
Yeah.
character made up by Peter Jackson?
Mhm.
Okay,
I think they
wow.
just kind of wanted like more female presence because in the book it's pretty much just all the boys in the book, and that's probably why they brought Kate Blanchett's character back as well.
Okay.
So there's like more of a female presence in the book in the films, which I completely like respect that because obviously Fran Welsh and Philippa Boyens writes the scripts with Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro in these ones. So I think maybe they had a say in like what sort of female presence there was
Mhm.
in the films, which I thought was quite cool.
With like a really strong female presence at the end of it. I can see why they capitalize on this franchise with like that. One of the things I also had a question for all of y'all. So y'all know that Legolas and Gimli in the Lord of the Rings franchise, they have such an interesting butting of heads all the time. But the thing that I thought was so amazing, looking at the end of this, and I haven't read the books either, is the fact that Legolas and Thorin, at the end, they were helping each other survive, you know. And
Mm.
Legolas was reluctant at first to really help these dwarves out, but the fact of him really being there in the midst for all of them, and then seeing the relationship between him and Gimli, it's more of a deeper relationship now that I didn't realize. Like he was there helping his dad in the war past, as opposed to like right then and there when they were working in the Lord of the Rings, like everything else
Mm.
was going on. And it's just an interesting presence that Thorin's presence there paved the way for different relationships that are going to be met with the Lord of the Rings. And it's just really interesting to see. But what would y'all's take on, like, I guess, the relationship between Thorin, Legolas, and Gimli, and how that kind of played out, the way that Peter Jackson kind of portrayed it?
Yeah, no, you've got a point there. Obviously, Legolas was very reluctant to assist the dwarves because if we remember in the Desolation of Smaug, obviously when Tariel was going to help the dwarves, you know, Legolas is saying it's not our fight. She's saying, well, it is our fight. They've come into our domain. They've brought these orcs in, and it's basically now our opportunity to defend our kingdom. But Legolas was having none of it. But obviously, when one of the orcs was attacking Tariel, he decided to take matters into his own hands. So you're right in saying that eventually, he came around and thought, okay, I'm not just here just to save Tariel, I'm also here to save these dwarves, whilst they're not really my direct responsibility. Tariel's not my direct responsibility, but she obviously feels for one of the dwarves. So in a way, you could say that that was his, illusion to eventually becoming really good friends with Gimli, in the Lord of the Rings, and it allows him to have. I would say a heart because he did seem rather cold in all these three movies at one point. But yeah, I would say that he eventually opened his heart, opened his mind to the reality to realise that hang on, whilst I may be an elf, we're not the only people in this world. There are other species out there, other people who will come together for a greater good, this, that, and the other. And yeah, no, I actually felt that it was good to have him in there. Whilst is he in the book?
No.
He's not, right?
No.
So to have him to have him in the film is to allow Peter Jackson to tell people, look, okay, some of you would have read the book and you'll know exactly what's happening. But for those of you who haven't, look, I'm going to link everything as possible as I can with Lord of the Rings. Legolas isn't in the book, but I'm bringing him into the film to make you guys see the potential relationship he will have with a dwarf after The Hobbit is finished. You know, so it was all about those connections, those little dot to dots that he was closing off and finishing here and there. So yeah, that's a really good point to make, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked having him in the film. It was a really nice touch, like to add it all in. And I swear there's like a scene in Desolation of Smaug where someone's talking about a picture that Balin's carrying, because Gimli's Balin's son, and it's like, what is that foul creature or whatever, and that's why I son Gimli, and it was
that was hilarious. 'Cause it was Legolas that was the one that picked it up, and he was when I looked at the pictures, I was like, who's this rather looking man, strange man? And he was like, that's my wife. And then looks at the next picture, who's this ugly looking creature? That's me wee lad, Gimli.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Really nice touch, that was.
But again, with like the romance between like Toriel and Legolas and stuff, I'm not one for love triangles, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was the thing for me. I mean that's where I'm going back to how Legolas wasn't bothered about the dwarves. He was more bothered about Tariel, because obviously he loved her so much. He cared about her so much, and he didn't like the fact that his dad banished her as well. You know, King Fandriel for banishing Tariel. You know, he resented him for that and such. It was just for Legolas, all he cared about was Tariel, and you know, he would have done anything for her, which he clearly did. But later on, he then realised that at the end of the day, I'm not just here for Tariel. I'm clearly here to dispose of these orcs and help the dwarves reclaim their land and all the usual stuff as well. So, but yeah, blooming hell, there was so much going on in
yeah.
Definitely a lot. I will tell you what I was very surprised about: how quickly they dispatched of Smaug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
was like,
I was like, what?
it's like I knew they were going to get rid of him quick, because like, how do you have like, oh, the first hour is a dragon fighting? It's like, it's just a dragon, but I didn't expect it to be like, it was like 5 minutes.
Yep.
I was like, oh, bye Benedict, pick up your check, bye. But I don't know. It was,
Oh, but he still had to do the necromancer voice though.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, after the dragon, it was like, yeah, bye.
I'm trying to think if they would have extended the time, like, how much would have been kind of cut out of stuff they need to finish. I mean, I really was satisfied with it. I would have liked it to go longer, just as a movie viewer, but I think for what they had to do for the end story, like, I feel like they had to kind of round it up. But it was just amazing. Oh, the other thing, did y'all see how amazing this looked? Like, it looked like I was looking at a 4K TV the whole entire time. And I was looking, I was like, man, this is too sharp. I'm freaking out. Y'all look at IMAX and you go?
I mean, I watched it in IMAX 3D.
Oh, jealous.
I haven't seen it in IMAX 3D yet, but
I
I'm
watched it
planning on
in
it
like
soon.
the smallest theater ever. It was not nice.
No, well, we had a midnight show in here, so I went to that. So it was IMAX 3D, and it was really good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But when the first Hobbit film came out, you're gonna laugh at this. It was pretty funny. I watched it in IMAX 3D. I then watched it in. Did I watch it in 2D? I think I watched it in 2D. And then I later on watched it in the high frame rate in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to know the one reason why I watched it in all three different formats? Because at the time I was waiting for them to show a trailer for the Man of Steel.
Yeah, I was just saying,
And I went
I
to
thought you were
all
going to
three,
say something like
all three thinking, please show the trailer. No, not one.
Never.
Not a single one showed the trailer. And I was like, so I've just wasted roughly 7 hours of my life.
And so much of my money.
Yeah. I want my money back, please.
Oh god, yeah.
But yeah, watching it in HFR was weird. It was really. I can see why a lot of people did complain about it, but once your eyes adjusted and got used to it, it was lovely. It was very smooth.
Over 3 hours.
Yeah, well, if you sat there for 3 hours, oh, yeah, you do think, oh, my eyes are going to go funny now. But yeah, that was the reason why I saw it in all 3 different formats, because I just wanted to see the trailer for Man of Steel. But yeah, actually, 'cause even at the 3rd showing for the HFR, when I was watching it at the high frame rate, I was sat in between 2 families right at the back, and I swear to God, at one point I actually fell asleep. Now, whether or not they heard me snoring or anything, I'm not sure. But I eventually woke up thinking, oh fuck, I'm actually falling asleep here. Right, I need to wake up. Not because the film was boring, but because I was just epically tired. Because there's me going from one screen to the next thinking, where's the Man of Steel trailer? I'm not watching it. It's not happening. Stuff it. Never mind.
It's weird that that was so long ago. It was 2012, wasn't it? That's
Right?
Three.
It feels like yesterday the first one came out, because I remember that being a big deal. Like, I remember I got there 5 hours early to the IMAX. 5 hours! I got there 2 hours before the line started. I was,
Oh my
oh my god, but I remember what a big deal that was, and now it's like over, and it's like, oh, okay,
Oh, that's nice.
I'll be back for Star Wars, bye, you know.
But you know,
To be fair, if they remake them, Orlando Bloom will probably still look the same. He can still play Legolas.
good lord, can you imagine a reboot in like 20 years' time and they recall Orlando? He will look the same, actually, won't he?
He drinks from the bloody fountain of youth, that man does.
Yes.
I actually think he looked a bit older. I thought he had aged quite a
Well,
bit. You know?
Yeah, but I think the only way you can tell is when they do the close-up, you can see the excessive amount of foundation they've put on him. That's the only way you can tell he's aged.
Yeah.
Once you pile on that amount of foundation on a dude, yeah, he's getting old.
That's why I always, like, it was weird that they did, like, the Lord of the Rings first and then the Hobbit, because I was like, they're all going to be so old. Like, Christopher Lee's 92 now, and obviously they'd all look a lot older than they already did, but obviously they have a lot of the new cast in there, and they only have Ian McKellen and Christopher Lee, who pretty much look the same as they did in the first 3 movies. So it didn't really affect it as much. But I can't believe Christopher Lee's 92. Oh my god.
I was about to say, is that legit? I didn't know that. That's insane.
I thought you were exaggerating. He's actually 92.
I think so.
Holy crap, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
He's the most credited actor in the history of
It's
acting,
ridiculous.
basically. He's been in nearly, I would say, about a good 250, somewhere to 300 films he's been in.
A lot.
Yeah,
He's
he
been
is
in a lot of
92.
films.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is
Holy
crazy.
shit, yeah, he's 92. He's 92 and he still looks like he could kick my ass like that. But, oh my god.
It's like
I see him, he's going that way. Crap, it's awesome.
he was trending on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh my god, please tell me Christopher Lee hasn't died." And it was like, "No, no, he just bought a rock album out."
Oh yeah, he is a bona fide singer as well.
What is happening? But yeah, he's such a badass at age 92.
God.
Good lord.
Okay, this
did not know that.
we're straying off subject.
Yeah, he was in it for 3 seconds. Let's talk about him for an hour.
Why not?
Actually,
I feel like we have to like narrow this down so we have some stuff to talk about with Nicole and Adele.
Oh, yeah.
what I always wanted to add quickly was obviously when Gandalf was getting attacked by the necromancer, who obviously we then later realised was Sauron, and then obviously Galadriel and Radagast and also obviously Christopher Lee's Saruman arrived. The biggest plot hole for me was after Galadriel disposed of Sauron, we never heard anything about it after that. It's like she just sent him all the way out to Lord knows where, obviously Mordor, but it was like, well, what happened to him after that? How did he get his tower built and all sorts? You know, what occurred? You know, that for me was a huge plot hole, because I just thought, all right, so she you know, her power has just become tenfold. She's dispatched of this dude. Where'd he go? What happened to him? You know, so it was like
pretty
left.
Oh, she was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
that was weird.
I mean, I'm sure, obviously, if an extended version comes out, which I'm sure there will be, then we'll hopefully see more of it.
Apparently, in like Desolation of Smaug extended version, there's just like 20 minutes of Bilbo walking around doing nothing. Because like
It's funny because I totally believe that.
in the book when they're at the elf caves, honestly, there's like 5 pages dedicated to be like, oh, Bilbo did this, Bilbo walked around, Bilbo hid somewhere. I was like, Peter Jackson probably filmed that.
I love that. I'm going to go out and buy that now. I wanted that just. Oh, he's here now. Oh, he walked over there. He got some ice cream. It fell on the ground. He had
Probably what it is.
just-
Just chilling.
Brilliant. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, it was good stuff though. No, it was, I do think it was a good fond farewell. It was well rounded off, I think. But yeah, I wish it had been longer. Probably about another 15 minutes, maybe.
Right? They finally make a short one, and we all complain.
I think the films are all like incredibly long. I have to say, like the first and second part, like the first part, it was because I watched it on Netflix, and I kept on like trying to see how much time was left. Honestly. And the same, like I read actually the first Lord of the Ring and the second book, the first and second, but not the Hobbit. And I was quite shocked. I didn't expect him to like describe everything. Like every forest was kind of the same to me. So yeah, I think the films are better, definitely, but they're pretty long, in my opinion.
But this one was pretty. This was the shortest one of the bunch. I think it was only like 2 hours and 25 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was about
And yeah, when I walked out of it, just like, it could have been a bit longer. Could have been a bit longer. Felt a bit empty. It could have been a bit longer. I don't know.
No, I was just thinking, 90 minutes, each of them would have been perfect. But, I'm not a big, like, huge Lord of the Rings fan, kind of Hobbit fan, so I guess I'm a bit different.
Well, you see, I think they're really fun to just marathon, and you marathon the extended editions all night. You don't do anything else but watch them. Then you get dysentery the next day. It's a great time. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'll have to do that one day.
You shouldn't say that in public, Ash. You're going to get fired.
What? Fired from where? Target, don't talk to Will Eustace just like, did he get dysentery at your house 2 years ago? Okay, he's done. He's done. He's gone. Go. Go.
I try marathoning them, but I just do it over like I do one and then I do one like 2 days later or whatever. I'm trying to do them, and I was like, I'm gonna watch Two Towers later, and my sister was like, no, wait for me.
It requires a lot of Mountain Dew, a lot of dedication, a lot of Slim Jims, and a lot of not going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, and you don't leave the house. You have to go to the bathroom. You go to Wendy's. I don't know. It's just it's a thing. It's a thing.
Well, at least now you can order takeaway online these days. And get it.
But you can't order their bathroom.
Yeah.
Because we always do those at other people's houses, and I have a thing about doing my business at other people's houses. I'm like, dude, I gotta go. Can we go to Wendy's? Like, I only feel comfortable at Wendy's or my house. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Oh dear, no, it was. As I say, I think just going back on topic, it's.
What? Dysentery jokes aren't on topic.
I think to be honest though, for Peter Jackson, I think it's a job well done for him. As I said at the beginning, it was a struggle to actually get The Hobbit, off the ground in the first place. There was all sorts of problems with it, production-wise, money-wise, script-wise, everything that you could imagine that was wrong with it to begin with. But he can now look back. And the past 17 years has been a big chunk of his life, and not just his life, but other actors that have been involved. Obviously, Sir Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee, and Orlando Bloom, and Cate Blanchett as well, and Ian Holm and Elijah Wood as well. A lot of people who have pretty much been there from the beginning. It has been a huge chunk. I mean, 17 years. I can't even think of a franchise where, apart from James Bond, obviously, but where you've had someone who's been involved from the beginning to the very end. And you can't get more involved than with Peter Jackson and who are the other producers? Philippa
Boyens, Fran Walsh, and then Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I have far too much knowledge about this.
That's okay. I'm glad someone has.
Yeah, us are just sitting here like, I don't know. Look, it's a thing that plugs into your car.
Oh, dear. But yeah, 17 years.
I don't know.
17 years is an absolute long time.
Right?
Pretty much a lifetime, for them. So, yowzers, yeah. It's,
I just watched Boyhood, and that was insane. I was like 12 years. Jesus Christ.
Oh, right? It's crazy. It feels so weird to watch. You're just like, oh my, I just watched a life. That's what happened. I just watched a life.
Yeah.
I've read about that.
That's so trippy.
Yeah, I read about it, and I actually literally had no idea that they actually filmed it over the course of 12 years. I'm thinking, how do you even... I mean, what?
Right?
So, it's like, how is that even possible? But, I mean, hats off to them for doing it. That's definitely...
Right? It's like we're talking dedication with this series, and then it's like, oh yeah, but that one was one movie, same cast, 12 years, and they were kids when they started. So it's like, I loved it. In fact, I loved it more than what we were talking about. I loved it more. But that's not the point. That's not the point.
I just watched it and I was like, I will never achieve anything in my life.
Oh, right? It's just like, oh, look, he could do this. I bought a chair the other day. That's a lie. I didn't buy it. I actually stole this chair out of a garage. That's not a lie. I found it in a garage and now it's in my house. So.
The reason we spend 2 hours on these things is because we always talk about the most random stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta leave some for the Aussies, so we gotta talk about random things like my chair and Darth Vader. I bought this.
Oh dear, he's got his Empire Strikes Back. That's brilliant.
I'm so sad it doesn't come out till Boxing Day in North.
Yeah. How
Right? It's ridiculous.
brilliant.
Surely Peter Jackson should be like, oh, they've been my neighbours for God knows how long. Let's release it there earlier. But no.
No, the UK gets it first because
I know.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Hey, look, it's not our fault that we are now getting a lot of movies released first than other parts of the world. I mean, next year, for example, we're getting Age of Ultron by end of April. You guys won't see it till the first week of May.
Jesus,
So,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm so excited that the trailer was so good and I get to see it before you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
But the other interesting thing is now, Warner's have finally decided to perk up, realizing that what Marvel are doing is so awesome. They are more than likely going to either do a worldwide release of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, or in the same shape as Marvel, we'll get it a week or two beforehand in the UK before everywhere else.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
I'm not sorry. What am I talking about?
Did you say you're getting Batman first? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
Am I-
we're likely to probably get Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice before the Americans.
Shall I look it up?
Motherfucker, I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna steal Batman v Superman from you. I need that. I still don't get why that's coming out in 2016. You know, the
Well,
new James Bond. The new
they've done
James
it,
Bond
haven't
is
they?
coming out next year, and it hasn't even started filming yet.
Last
Batman
year.
v Superman is done.
Well, there is. Yeah, okay. Well, there
Done
is
filming.
the second week of filming the new Bond film, but yeah, I hear you.
But still, it's like I get effects, but Star Wars has effects too, and that's coming out next year. Why do you need to keep Batfleck away from me so long? I need him in here.
It's Zack
I need him
Snyder.
here.
It's Zack Snyder. That's why.
No, we get it on the same day, guys. It's okay. Calm
Okay.
down. Belgium get it first on the 23rd.
It could still change.
It could still change. They always do.
Hopefully.
mean-
Hopefully.
We haven't seen Birdman yet.
Yeah, Birdman's not here until January, so count yourselves lucky.
Oh, jeez. I was going to see. I saw that like months ago. I'm so sorry. It's so good. I mean, it's not that good. It's not that good. It's worth waiting for. I didn't give it a perfect score at all. But I don't
Like I
know
want
what I was
to,
talking
I want
about.
to add it into my top 10 of the year, but I can't see it, so it's like, oh, that's hard this year, guys. So hard to narrow 10 films down. Most of them are like
Oh, yeah.
Marvel. Hello.
Well,
Not,
this is,
yeah. Not to mention with all the indies, there have been so many good indie films this year that there went to a point where I said, you know what, top 10, screw it. I'm doing top 20. I can't narrow it down. I literally
Top 20.
can't. There's too many good. It's going to be top 20, not in one video,
A lot.
2 videos.
Okay.
I need that many. I need that many because there's so many good ones. There's so many.
I think mine's going to be top 5, really. I was thinking the other day, I don't think I can get 10 up there. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and what else? Nightcrawler, really. Those are my 2 definites. But everything else I've liked, kind of, but yeah. I haven't seen Boyhood, though. Everybody keeps talking about Boyhood. You just mentioned
So
it. You
good.
just want it again.
It's really good. Like,
I will never
really
achieve anything like that in my
that's the thing,
future
like,
film.
I read 12 years. It took 12 years, and it put me off because I was just like, oh, that's a bit over the top. But everybody seems to love it, so I'm gonna give it a go.
It was crazy good.
It's really good, yeah.
There's never been anything done like
No. Richard Linklater's just ruined my life.
Right? Yeah, and it's going to be impossible at the Oscars this year because it's like, I don't know who I want to win Best Director. Because I want Birdman guy to win because it all feels like one continuous shot. Then it's like, Richard Linklater worked with these people for 12 years and somehow didn't screw everything up. If I had that, if someone placed me with that task in 3 years, everything would be on fire. Like, literally, I don't know why, but everything would be on fire. Yet he made this incredible flick, and I don't know. I'm going to sit.
I was
in my
reading
chair.
like the IMDb trivia, and it was like, if Richard Linklater had died in the 12 years, then Ethan Hawke would have taken over. And I was like, how could he even predict what was going to happen in 12 years?
True.
We can
Well,
have-
him and Ethan Hawke are like super close too, and I know
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke helped a lot with Before Sunset and all those movies, which I love. And it's so interesting. It's just like one bit of every year we're gonna film, and I'm just like, that's so cool. That's so cool, and it ruled. Like, that's my thing. It was awesome. How?
It was
How?
really long though, like almost 3 hours. I was like,
Well, yeah, but do you know what else is long?
So good. The
12
Hobbit.
years. Yeah.
The Hobbit, and 12 years is really long too.
Not to mention, I saw it after Transformers 4, so it was like, if I can choose this movie, which is almost 3 hours, over that movie that was almost 3 hours, that's no contest.
I feel like we need to talk about the fact that Paramount have put Transformers up for the Oscar.
What?
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Are you serious? For what?
That
And
doesn't
best
surprise
Director and
Picture,
Best Picture.
Best Director. Like, all of this. It was I put it on my Instagram. It is hysterical, and it's 100% legit. And at first I was like, oh, what? That's really weird of them to do that. And then on AMC Movie Talk, they were talking about it. They were like, they know it's bad. They're just like, we made so much money. Let's just screw around, you know? Put it up for Best Picture. That's hilarious. Let's do it right now. I was doing it. I typed into the chat. I'm going to press enter there. There you go. But
Okay. Oh dear, that cracks me up. Wow.
It was like Interstellar, Transformers 4. I was like, how are they even in the same category?
it was so funny. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd seen in a while, and I remember Ryan Jacob commented on that, and he's like, "This is comedy," and I was like, "It feels more like a tragedy to me," but I don't know. It was just so funny. It was like, "This is real." Okay, I'm gonna go sit down.
I actually find it really weird that none of the Hobbits were like nominated for like big Oscars, because obviously like Return of the King won like 10 Oscars, like including Best Picture.
I think 11. Yeah, it holds the record.
It held a lot. Yeah, it won a lot. But then again, like with adapted screenplay, because they did like change it so much from the book, I understand why they can't like nominate it or anything, because they added in new characters. So yeah.
It baffles me it didn't get nominated for costume design, because I don't think it
Oh,
got nominated for
so
costume
good.
design last year, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't remember what got nominated, but I was like, no, these guys are in the costume chair for like 5 hours, just like, oh yeah, I'm getting a new nose put on, and then it's just like, let's give it to Meryl Streep. I don't know what she did, but no, like I was like, are you kidding right now? Really?
Meryl Streep. Why not? It's like she's getting nominated for like Into the Woods. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just like,
That's what I've heard, and everyone who's seen it is just like, I get it's Meryl Streep, but really?
it's like you could have her playing a potato and she'd still get fucking nominated.
Right? I love that joke they had at the Golden Globes the other year where she wasn't because she was sick. I think Tina Fey was like, yeah, she's really sick. I really haven't heard about it or anything, but I've heard she's fantastic in it.
But you see, with actresses like Meryl Streep, she's just like Dame Judi Dench. I mean, don't forget in Shakespeare in Love, Judi Dench only appeared for what, 5 minutes? She not only got nominated for an Oscar, but she won the damn thing. I mean,
well, maybe it was a damn good 5 minutes. I don't know. I haven't seen Shakespeare in a while. The only thing I know about that movie is it beat Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture, and I don't understand. I don't understand. But
yeah, there are some movies like that. They're like Chicago won like a really big thing, and I was like I like Chicago, but
Oh, do you? I really dislike the film, so yeah.
I like musicals, so I love Chicago, but I can't remember what was up that year, but I don't think I thought it should have won, maybe? I don't know. But
it's too big a thing, I think.
well, I personally think that it's about time that they brought superhero comic book movies into the foray, because we all remember what happened with The Dark Knight.
oh yeah.
That didn't get nominated, but then obviously Heath Ledger got a posthumous award for his role as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's asking, well, is it because he died is the reason why he got it, or was it because that he did so well as playing the Joker? That question will obviously never ever get answered properly because he's not around to give us that answer. But for the Academy to then switch things around and start adding 10 movies as opposed to the original 5, after The Dark Knight wasn't nominated, it was like just a simple case of, you know, flipping the bird to films like The Dark Knight. But I also think that the Academy has something against Christopher Nolan, because of all the films that he has done, not a single one has he been nominated Best Director.
That's true. Oh my God, yeah.
It really is.
Stuff like The Prestige, obviously Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar.
Inception is the one that boggles my mind. I'm like, how do you not win for Inception? That movie is like 10 out of 10 best game, but it's because of him. That movie is so incredible. Like, I don't understand that at all.
And I do think they must have a grudge against him. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what it is they have against him, because this guy is constantly, you know, pushing the boundaries. He loves his films. He doesn't use digital cameras. He uses original films for his movies, you know, because he's old school in that sense. And, you know, he loves his practical effects as well. And he'll use CG where it's needed, but he's not a huge fan of it. And I just wonder, what is it does he have to do in order to get the Academy to turn around and say, you know what, let's give it to him. We'll give him Best Picture, we'll give him Best Director, all of this stuff. But then at the same time, I guess Nolan's probably thinking, you know what, I don't really need the Academy's recognition of how good my films are, because at the end of the day, the only people that matter are the people who go and watch it. And that's true. You know, we answer with our wallets and our money. And I mean, I remember when Inception first came out, I saw that 4 times at the cinema.
I saw it 3 in a row. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah. I love that film. Absolutely love it. And, you know, he is a visionary, but he's also very, how should I put it? Sophisticated in how he does his films. You know, he is very sophisticated. You know, but yeah, I mean, who knows? Whatever his next movie that he does, I hope that he does get the recognition he deserves, because he really does deserve it.
I don't even know how he can top Inception, to be honest.
Yeah, I was under the same scope as well. I was like, how is he going to do so much better with this? Because Inception was just an absolute mind-blowing film.
Crazy.
I think it's my favorite of his, yeah. It's either that or Memento. No, Interstellar isn't the one that's going to do it, because I saw that twice and I still don't like it that much, but
yeah,
Inception was just like
crazy. Totally crazy.
Should we go back to The Hobbit now?
That elk was insane! Oh my God!
The elk. Going back to the elk.
After he lifts them up, he fucking dies. He dies! Like it's lanced in the heart or something. I don't remember because I was too busy like crying, so I didn't see it. But he just like flies over, then I forgot his name again. Ronan the Accuser. He's talking
Fandral.
to Fandral. He's talking to Evangeline Lilio, and he's just like, "Oh, because the love was real. Do you know what else was real? Your fucking elk, and your elk is dead. Your elk is dead."
Oh dear. That elk was awesome.
I believe Lee
I love
Pace's eyebrows should get their own credit on the film, to be fair.
Oh, whoever did his eyebrows.
Them
they-
eyebrows. I think they're natural, like, he naturally has, like, really thick eyebrows. But
Wow.
I'm gonna look it up.
He looks so blurry in the movie. Is that just me? Lee Pace always looks blurry in these movies to me. Maybe it's because he's shiny, or maybe he's related to Bigfoot. But
I think it goes back to the amount of foundation that he's been put on. Again, just like they did for Orlando Bloom. When you see the close-up, seriously, take a good look at the skin.
yeah.
You can see the amount of foundation that they've piled onto these
like
dudes.
friggin' porcelain dolls, man.
Well, they look like the Twilight people, the vampires. I thought, like, oh, look, the first guy, Lee Pace, the first time I saw him, I was just like, oh, he looks like Robert Pattinson's dad from Twilight. I thought it was just fantastic for a bit.
It's
I haven't
actually
seen Twilight, but I've seen, like, the trailers and stuff, and I know who everybody is, just because everybody always talks. I mean, even my mum knows Twilight, so, yeah, I thought it was the same person for a bit, but it's the same makeup artist, maybe.
it's actually so funny because Lee Pace is in the last Twilight movie.
Oh, is he?
Wait, really? Are you?
Yeah,
What?
he did the last Twilight
I'm not
movie. That's
kidding
correct.
Yeah, he plays Garrett, one of the outlaw vampires.
Yeah.
I was like a big
Such a
Twilight
Twilight
fan.
name.
I'm so sorry.
This is Garrett.
Oh my god, did you see Garrett in that movie? He was so good. And he's gonna be naked and then, I don't know, he's gonna be blue.
I
and
feel
wear
like he made a
hat and
bad
go,
choice doing that movie there. Like, he's a crazy good actor, like, crazy good. Have any of you seen The Fall? The Fall is, like, crazy good.
I think a lot of people made bad decisions joining that cast
Yeah.
because Robert Pattinson is a good actor. Anyone see The Rover? Because he blew me away in that. And then everyone's still just like, he's Edward. I'm like, watch The Rover. Watch The Rover.
I liked him in Harry Potter, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I like him in Harry
Yeah.
Potter, and he comes across really well in interviews. But yeah, the Twilight, I watched about the first like half an hour or so because they were showing it on Film 4. But that Kristen Stewart, right, or Kirsten Stewart, she's really annoying, and I know people like her, but that she's always biting her lip and stuff, and it's just like, oh, you're so idiotic, and everybody wants to rescue her. All these guys at school, they're all like, oh my god, like, she's so delicate and stuff, and she's just like, no, she's not. She looks like everybody else. She's just quite pale, but it's just 'cause it's rainy where they live. But anyway, yeah, so I did like that film.
They were terrible.
So
When they first came out, I thought they were, like, the best thing since sliced bread because I was in my little like, Twilight phase or whatever. But now I look back and I'm like, those were dark days.
And another thing that I always notice about Twilight is the films look so blue. Like the color, they're
Right?
so blue.
Oh, I hate that. I totally
Like,
noticed
look
that
at the
too. I was just
grading on this.
it's this
Somebody needs to
greenish
go back.
hue. Yeah.
But then you've got to watch things like when you look at, say, The Matrix, you notice how it's got a green tint to everything.
Yeah.
But
And
that
that's
was
because
That's the reason that one did it right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's because
that was perfect.
you know, they wanted that effect. They wanted to have that green hue throughout the entire film to give you an idea of the fact that, you know, everything about the Matrix is, you know, the coding is green. So they wanted that effect all throughout the film. So so you're right. Looking at the Twilight films, it had a similar sort of, you know, effect as well. But it wasn't just the fact that the films themselves were like, you know, had a little blue tint. I mean, the vampires had a little blue tint about them as well, to be fair.
Sparkling.
Unless, of course, they were in the sunlight.
Oh, they sparkle and they go like this. All those movies are just like facial animations.
Oh,
The guys are always going like, and Kristen Stewart is always just like,
That movie.
Sorry, I
that's
missed
those
it.
movies. I saw the first one. I saw the first one all the way through, and I'll never get that hour back. But
I watched all 5.
I've watched all 5.
Five. There's five. I
Yeah,
thought there was three.
the
I
final
thought, like,
one was 2
6
parts.
or something.
See, the final... Wait, was it the final Twilight or was it the final Harry Potter that started off this whole part
It did. It was the Harry Potter that started.
yeah,
It was the Harry Potter that started it. Let's divide the final book into 2 films, people, because no one's going to see all of them in one go.
But the thing is, Deathly Hallows is shorter than Order of the Phoenix, so it makes no sense. Really doesn't.
Oh.
No.
That's where Peter Jackson got the crazy idea to do 3 films for The Hobbit.
And
That's
then,
where
like,
everyone got the idea because it made so much money. It made all this money. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me because of it. It was this entire thing. She did. I didn't want to go to the midnight premiere. I don't like Harry Potter. I don't like it. I didn't want to go. She was like, you gotta come with me. I need a girlfriend. I was like, no. I want to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
but like the thing that annoys me most is The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1, because all 3 books are practically the same length.
Yeah.
Done for life.
Yeah.
Done for life.
Done for life.
We're scarred.
So annoying.
I blame the young generation.
Yeah, for sucking all their money into Part 1s and 2s of things.
Yeah.
I didn't do
That's
it.
my generation.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
Well, it's happening now, obviously, with the Divergent series as well.
Don't even mention that to me.
I feel like I'm such a downer, but like the Hunger Games, again, that was another one that I just, because I read the reviews and everybody says these films are good, so I go into it thinking it's going to be good, but again, I didn't think it was brilliant, but I only saw the first part, so I might have to see the second and third. Yeah.
Catching Fire is like so 10 times better than like the first one.
I think that was a lot more on par with what she's capable of. I mean, Mockingjay, I actually really like that. You say you didn't like it, or you didn't like the length of it?
Oh, I liked the movie. Like, I thought it was really good and how they did it and stuff. It just bugged me because all 3 books are the same length, so I don't see why they needed to make it 2 parts, sort of thing. So it's
I
just...
think the way they did the screenwriting and the screenplay for this one, like they put so much into this one. Like I was like, if they would have tried to put more than this, it would have been too much.
Mm.
It's the way they designed the screenplay and they did the script for it. Because by the end of it, I don't know if any of y'all looked at it, but it messed me up emotionally. Because I was like, for the person that was kind of, never mind, I don't want to spoil anything. But it was a lot of emotional stuff that went down.
I was going to say, I haven't seen it. Don't spoil the movie. I'm going to wait to watch when it comes out on Netflix. So, yeah. I'm not a fan of them either. I didn't like the first one that much because it was just like, oh yeah, movie. But then I watched the second one. Everyone's like sucking the second one's dick. I watched it. I didn't like it. I was like, it's like it's better. It's better, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't know.
People said that it was like Battle Royale. I don't know if anybody's seen the film Battle Royale. So I went to watch Battle Royale, and I thought they were very different. Like, they are talking about that Japanese film, aren't they, where everyone is killing everyone. And I thought that was very, very different to Hunger Games, because Hunger Games, the first one, it was all about, like, it was kind of like Big Brother, I thought, anyway. So, yeah, I couldn't get the similarity, but I don't know.
Yeah, I watched Battle Royale because of that as well, and like Battle Royale is creepy as hell.
It was really creepy.
Right? Those Japanese schoolgirls are scary. But I'll take them over. I don't like their names in those movies. I don't like their names. PETA.
Yeah,
Everyone's all like, "Oh, PETA's so cute." I'm just like, PETA has a stupid name. He has a stupid face. He has a stupid nose. Have you seen it?
He does have it. They do have really stupid names. I don't.
Right?
For some reason, like everything that's like futuristic or dystopian, it's like we're gonna give you a stupid ass name. Boom. Be happy
It's like
with
you
that.
can do it right and you can do it wrong, and I just think that, oh look, you got it on Blu-ray.
Have any of y'all seen this? Attack the Block.
No, I haven't. Is that good?
I've never seen it.
I'll tell you something about that film. I love that film so much because it reminds me of when I was like the kid's age in that film, living in southeast London, the southeast council estate. Always imagine what it'd be like if aliens landed, and I'll tell you what, it's like watching myself on screen at times. I'm the kid that actually turns around and says, I just want to go home, lock my door, and play FIFA.
That's like most British.
Is that a line? Oh, God.
Like, you're really gonna love it.
It's a brilliant film.
Is John Boyega in that film? Is that you say his name?
Yeah, John Boyega. Yeah, he's in that. He's the guy that's going to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this little indie flick called Star Wars. I don't know if you've heard about it. Actually, I have heard about it. This is Darth Vader. I have this. I'm
There it
just
is.
going to bring this up as many times as I can because I paid $15 for it. But you don't get any of that love. He doesn't get any of it. He just go over there. He's go over there because he made me drive for all day.
But yeah, no, Attack the Block is a damn good film. It really is an awesome film, and I was very, very surprised with it. To be honest, I didn't know what I was actually expecting when I went to see it. But when I came out from seeing it, I was like, yeah, that's how we roll in the South East London Council Estates. You come down and mess with us, you get wiped.
Like,
I feel like we should have prepared questions for this, you know, guys.
we should have like an outline of, oh, let's do this and then let's talk about this instead of just me randomly going, the moose again. We need to get back into topic. The moose.
To be fair, I prefer unscripted. I don't like things scripted.
I don't script my reviews. I just like make notes and stuff because I can't. I'm all robotic and it's not good.
I script and then I just yell my script really loud and make like my eyes go like that a lot, and that's my video making process. I still need to do it for Foxcatcher. I saw Foxcatcher last night, guys. It was really good.
I'm jealous. It doesn't come out here till God knows how long. It was like out in the film festival, but like 10 people got to see it or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it just dropped here in Colorado. I remember I got off work at like 9 p.m. and I went straight to the AMC and I was like, yay! And I was very tired, but I was like, yay.
Well, Odeon have started something over here in the UK called Odeon Screen Unseen. So basically what it is, they will send out emails to, obviously people who are on their mailing list and let them know that they're going to do show a movie that hasn't yet been released. Tickets are like $5 as well, so it's really cheap. And they did one, the first one that they did was I think in October, and the film that they showed then was Nightcrawler. Now I didn't go, but everybody who saw it said it was really good. But then they did another one this month at the beginning of December, so I thought, well, I think I'll go for that one this time. And they showed Whiplash.
Oh my God, that movie is so good!
It was. I was very surprised. I really enjoyed it. It was this type films like that I don't normally would just go and see for any reason. But I thought, let me go and check it out, and I was amazed.
Right?
I was absolutely amazed. It was
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that one, and the trailer really didn't intrigue me all that much, but everyone started talking all this hype about it. I'm like, it can't be that good. Then it came to Boulder, and I went and saw it, and I gave it a perfect score. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. If J.K. Simmons doesn't win the Oscar this year, we lose.
Yeah.
We lose as a people, because that was insane. Not my tempo. Not my tempo. Oh my God.
Yeah, his acting was just on top form. I mean, when I say it was a colourful film, I mean in terms of the language that was used in this film. That's what I'm talking about. It was colourful in terms of the language that was used, and it was brilliant. It was just, and Miles Teller as well was just outstanding.
Oh, right.
I mean,
Miles Teller did fantastic too.
It's absolutely brilliant. So please, if you do get the chance to see it, go and see Whiplash.
Go see Whiplash if you haven't. If it's near you and you haven't seen Whiplash, drop everything, unless it's a baby, and go see that movie. Oh my God, it's so good.
Drop everything, go see it. Yeah,
you know what? Yeah, drop the baby. It's that good.
They do that at Cineworld though. Like they have like preview screenings or whatever, and they have like secret screenings or whatnot. The last one I went to was Dawn, and I was expecting to see Galaxy, so I was like so upset that I'm not seeing Galaxy right now. But they've got one like beginning of January for Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Oh yes.
Oh, I'm really excited for that one. That looks really good.
Yeah, because I've got like this Cineworld card thing that lets me watch whatever I want, whenever I want, for like £16, which is amazing. And then they do the blah blah, do the secret screening things, and I love it. They did one last year for Rush, and like I had no clue about Rush whatsoever. And I watched it, and I was like, I'm in love forever.
Yeah, good.
One of my favourite movies of last year. Oh my God, so good. So the moose.
Oh, I have another thing to yell about.
The moose.
And it's not the moose this time. take a second. Can we just take a second to talk about how amazing Bard was? How amazing and badass he was. Like that one scene. The one scene that rivals the moose scene for me is when he sees his children and he's just like, oh look, it's my kids. And then giant crazy orc man, comes and he's just like, oh shit, I gotta stop this. So he jumps in a friggin' cart, rides down, just nails the thing, stabs it in the head, and I cried out of my orifices. Like, it was amazing. Also, by the way, Guardians of the Galaxy, I have it too, but I really fucked up my Blu-ray collection just to do that, because it's behind my monitor right now. So it's gross. It's gross, right? Thanks, Sam. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, Bard was the best. But, like, you know that
Oh my God, yeah.
freaking one character, you know, Stephen Fry's little fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't last. He lasted just about as long as Smaug did, yeah. Because Smaug killed him. I forgot about that. Yeah, you got crushed.
God,
Oh,
they
shit.
could have... Oh, they should have just
Yeah.
cut his screen time altogether.
Should have. He was annoying.
I was like, please, someone just kill this bitch right now. Just...
Can someone please kill this bitch?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh
shit.
dear.
Dead.
That was good fun.
Oh,
Everything's exploding at my house.
Right. Are we going to round it off then? Because it's like 20 past midnight here. I want to
shit.
get to sleep.
I'm so tired. I feel like I'm really annoying my flatmates as well.
Cut it now.
It's only 5 here, but I have a ton to do, so let's do that, yeah.
Yeah, and then we can discuss more when we have Adele and Nicole.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. We'll be sure to bring up the moose then.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
and it'll be
bring-
fun having Nicole in our midst because I don't know how many of you guys have spoken to Nicole before.
Nicole
you
is
have, yeah.
awesome.
Nicole's rad.
Nicole is so awesome, yeah.
Yeah, another Aussie. And I might ask my friend Ellie. Do you know Ellie Marie Productions, guys?
Yep.
Yes, I might ask Ellie if she's seen the film and then see if she wants to join, if that's cool with you guys.
that'll be great.
Hi, Ellie, if
More-
you're watching this. She probably-
More the merrier. More the merrier.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you very much, people.
Alrighty ho.
And then
Thank you,
on-
guys.
Bye, Internet. Come watch all our shows and make us money. Bye.
Make us
Help
say
me
like
quit my job at Target. Apparently, I'm getting fired for talking about dysentery.
Right, good night, guys.
Alright, good night.
You guys have a
You
nice
guys.
night. Stay classy.
Cheers.
Bye.